I'm Dianna Huff, president of Huff Industrial Marketing. And this morning I'm going to be talking about the Matomo URL builder to track website conversions or visits. Matomo refers to this as campaign tracking. I know for people who are really experienced with analytics, the URL builder may be something that's very basic, but for smaller teams or smaller companies, and especially for people who are new to Matomo, this is actually my favorite tool. And it's how I track everything for my small clients. And the theme of this presentation, which I am very passionate about, is that simple is the new powerful. All right, so just a little background on who I work with, because once you see my data, you're going to be like, because it's very, very small. So I work with smaller industrial manufacturers based here in the US who have 50 employees or fewer. They make things for aerospace, industrial, military, everything from satellite, things that go into satellite systems to these things called blast rooms. They either make the entire system like this, like a blast room, or they make the components that go into the blast room or the satellite or, oh my God, there's just so many things that people make. Machine shops are making all these different things. But anyway, their data is very small. And that means that I'm not seeing, uh, you know, tens of thousands of website visits on a daily or weekly basis. In fact, I'm seeing like 2,100 visits a month to a website. I deal with very, very little e-com, no apps. It's just straight search, right? People look for them, they find them, they come to the website. And also, so it's very a niche B2B audience. So desktop search rules. I mean, there is some mobile, but it's I would say 78% and above is desktop, and it's Monday through Friday. So it's very different needs in terms of data requirements. So what I track using Matomo, so for these smaller industrial manufacturers, inquiries or lead generation is the big deal. When prospects call me, I always ask, how many leads are you getting right now from your website? They either don't know because they don't know how to track it or no one's tracking it for them. Or they'll say, we think maybe three or four, meaning leads, meaning someone calls them, emails them, or fills out a form. That's it. And so I I my job is to make sure that I'm proving to them that their website that we built for them and the follow-on marketing that we're doing for them uh, is getting them ROI. So I track all conversions, form submissions, including RFQ, contact, whatever other forms there are, email and phone clicks. I'm tracking traffic that's coming in from our various marketing activities, especially from Google Ads and Microsoft Network, and then all the other stuff that we do. So I do all their follow-on marketing. And so it's very important that I have this data. And this is just a screenshot of RFQ form conversion data for one client for the year. And as you can see, it's very healthy. So that's what I'm tracking. And that's what they love to see. So I track all of this stuff that I'm doing through the Matomo URL builder. And you can just type in Matomo URL builder and it comes right up in the search engine. It's right on the Matomo website. And you can use all these things. You can use it, all these different marketing activities, but basically it's any click or any URL any click that you want to track that's somewhere else that's driving traffic back to your website. So all of these different things can all be tracked. And the URL builder is very easy to use. There are two main requirements. You have to have the URL, of course, that whatever website URL that you're sending people to, and then the campaign name. Those are the two required pieces of information. This is just a partial screenshot. I use campaign source and campaign medium, and I'll show you why. But there are other fields in here that you can use depending on what your needs are. And then you can also find the form inside Matomo. It's under acquisition. I personally like using the external form. because uh, I have it open. So I'm creating the URL. I track all this stuff in Google Sheets, all the URLs, and then I have, my Word doc or whatever open. So it's very easy for me. Hold on one second. Sorry, barking dog. Okay. So it's super easy to use. You fill in the fields, you generate the URL, and here it is right here, this beautiful URL and with all the different parameters. And now I'm going to show you just a very simple test that I'm running. So I run tests on everything. And I subscribed to the LinkedIn Premium subscription and I get this nice link I can add to my profile. As you know, these premium subscriptions are not cheap. So I want to know, is this thing working? Are people going to click this link and come back to my website? So I created this URL with parameters. And here you've got the campaign name, which is required. Visit my website. You have the source or the platform, LinkedIn, and then I have the medium, which is my profile link. So I set it up specifically for this talk because I wanted to see if I wanted to share data. I have not gotten very many links. LinkedIn is a very tough nut to crack. But anyway, I haven't gotten very many clicks. So anyway, that's how that's a simple way of using it. Now, source and medium, these are the two most important things, and they tie back. So all those fields in the URL builder tie back to information that you can find in Matomo. So I use source and medium. Those are my two main ones. So as you can see here, uh, they show up very nicely in Matomo. So source is very important that you understand the difference. It's the platform or where the click is coming from, whether it's your email marketing application, MailChimp, Active Campaign, Kit, whatever you use, or whether it's a big ad platform, Google, MSN, if you're doing paid posts on some of the social media, Facebook, or if you're just doing normal posts, non-paid on the socials, you can track all that. And then medium is the activity itself. So these are my own nomenclatures: paid search, paid post. You can make them anything you want, but that's how I track things. And then the reason why I have Chat GPT crossed out is because no, I was not tracking traffic using the URL builder from Chat GPT. That actually was coming through early on before Matomo created the AI assistance report. So now you don't see that anymore under campaigns. So that was a really nice addition by Matomo. So that's why I have it crossed out. And then this, my bad. So one of the tips I have, why keep everything in a Google Doc, a Google spreadsheet, all the parameters that I use is because, see, I used LinkedIn and then I use LinkedIn with a hyphen. So Matomo sees that as two different parameters. So they show up on two different lines. So you don't want that. You want everything to show up very nice and clean per platform, per activity on one line. All right, so here's a report from Matomo showing the channel type. And so now you can click on this and you can view all of the campaigns where you're using the parameters. So just so you know, anything with a parameter is called a campaign in Matomo. And that means even if someone else uses parameters, and links back to your website, those parameters will show up. That data will show up in your Matomo report. I just actually discovered that someone wrote a blog post and referenced my blog post and did a link with parameters, and it came back, and I went, "Wow, look at that! Wow, that got a fair number of clicks." So anyway, anything with a parameter shows up in campaigns. Now, the tips for ensuring good data is one, as I have already said, keep a log of all the parameters you're using for your campaigns and your marketing channels. I do it by client. But if you're in an internal team, you would do it by your campaigns and marketing channels, whatever you're doing. I have all this stuff written out for client by client and then by campaign marketing channel. And then again, I've already showed you the LinkedIn versus LinkedIn. So you want very clean data, or it makes it much easier to show clients or show your team what's working and what's not. And the other thing I would say is be consistent. Don't use it sometimes and then don't use it other times. If you're going to track your marketing, uh, track all of it. And I know if you're at a bigger company, it might be difficult because you're doing a ton of stuff. But once you get started tracking all of this, it becomes much easier. I know at first it can be a little overwhelming if you have a ton of data. But if you're a smaller company, it's much easier. For me, for my clients, I have several clients, we're running Google ads. They have 3 to 4 ad campaigns. So it's not a big deal for me to track all of this. And, the benefits are huge. So here's just an example. So for Google ads, for example, for the campaign name, each ad group has its own name so that I can then see all that data in Matomo. Each campaign, so then all of them all say paid search. All of them either say Google or Microsoft Network, or it could be if you're advertising on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you can, whatever works for you. And then again, newsletter, I usually do for the name, I do the month and the year, but you could do whatever work. Again, it's all what works for you as long as you're tracking it and you have a list of this stuff so that your data is really organized and tidy inside of Matomo. Now, the two benefits of doing conversion tracking or campaign tracking is that you give your team or your clients a full and accurate picture. So by once, if say you start in January, there's not a lot of, data, but once you have 4, 5, 6, 7 months of data or a full year of data, now you're able to see things. You're able to see patterns. You're able to see what's working and what doesn't work. So here, I'm. This is just a screenshot from one client showing website conversion growth over the last 4 years, and I am tracking everything: emails, phone clicks, um, form submissions, sponsored emails, newsletters, all of that stuff we're tracking. So once you have all that data, you now have a really full and accurate picture. And that allows you to better allocate your marketing and sales resources, whether you're working with clients or whether you're working as a team. And again, this is just a very small example, again, small data. So the client wanted to send out a sponsored email with through one of those a B2B trade publication, and 10,000 names on the list. And it's one of those where the people have said, yes, I want to receive emails from you. So the client wanted to try it. He had seen competitors do it and he thought, let's give it a try. So we designed up a beautiful email, sent it over to the publication. I had the tracking parameters in there. I supplied all the URLs and we got uh, 73 visits. So, which was a little disappointing. Uh, but the client did get 2 RFQ form conversions. Now, that's great. So if, but unfortunately, those RFQs were for products the company doesn't make. So even though the results were a little disappointing, what this does, what tracking all this stuff does is it gives your team or your clients something to talk about. So you can look at this and say, well, we paid whatever it was like $34 a click, and we're paying X amount of dollars per click through Google. So was it worth it? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to this data. It's just numbers. It's up to you to help your team or your clients interpret this data. And then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to try again? Maybe set it, aside for a little bit, or maybe try some banner ads with the publication in order to build some exposure. That's what this does. So I never see things as good or bad. I just say, okay, this is what happened. What have we learned from it? What can we do going forward to either change it, make it better, do something different, whatever. So that's just an example. So I like to say that the URL builder, as I said at the very beginning, It's a simple tool, but it gives you powerful, powerful insights. So this is what I'm going to share with you is a case study. It's again small data, but in 2024, at the end of 2024, one of my clients wanted to determine if LinkedIn was doing anything for them. So we had been posting consistently to the company page, and all this traffic was coming in, and we could see it in um, the visitor profile, the visitor log. We could see it all pouring in. But at the time, I wasn't using the URL builder. So we decided that we would be very strategic for 2025 and determine, is LinkedIn working? So we decided that we're going to boost posts 2 times per week, 3 days for each one. And if you boost posts, where my clients have very small budgets. So we boosted 3 days, and I think it's $10 a day. So um, $60 a week. So I know that's very small compared to what LinkedIn wants you to spend, but it's amazing the data you can get out of this. Amazing how it works. So anyway, we chose our audience, which was very industry specific, this B2B niche audience, and we specifically chose US only. That's all we wanted. And we wanted to drive really good traffic back to the website. So, and then I used the URL builder for tracking all this. All right. And then when you boost the post, you can choose both of these or one of these. This one is already opted in for you, the LinkedIn Audience Network. Place your ad on third-party apps and sites where your target audience is already engaging. So since I had not tested any of this before, I said, okay, let's go with that. So immediately, the first few posts in January, I'm looking at the data going, wait a minute. So this is one post right here. And I'm sorry, I'm under NDA with all these companies. So I can't show a lot of stuff. But we boosted a post, and at LinkedIn, their data said you got 25 paid clicks and 4 organic clicks. All right. So this is from the campaign the campaign manager. Matomo said, no, you've got 69 visits. Now, because I added parameters to all this stuff, I can now see them in the visitor log, right? LinkedIn page posts with the name of the campaign. I can see it. I'm like, wow. So why is there this gap when I'm seeing all these visits? And wait a minute, why are we getting all these non-US visits? I couldn't figure it out. It took me a while. I had to actually do research on the LinkedIn Audience Network. I was viewing all these different reports in Matomo. I'm like, wow. Well, I called my client and I said, can you get on let's do a screen share really fast because I just want to show you this. And we're looking at it together. And he said, wait, hold up. Start opening some of those foreign ones, out of country, I should say out of country ones. So um, our conclusion, not proven, but we just concluded that it must be bot farms because the ones that were coming in from other countries were all on mobiles. And a lot of these countries were getting double, triple, quadruple clicks. And then, we kept seeing them through the feed and none of them were doing any sort of, they were just coming to the website and that's it. Just clicking on that link. That was it. There was no other activity. So we decided, okay, we're going to end using that LinkedIn Audience Network and we're going to test the audience expansion. So we started doing that. So this is our data for February. As soon as we stopped using the LinkedIn Audience Network, we had an 83% drop in non-US pay-per-click traffic. Um, Here you can see. So now we went from 296 visits from LinkedIn page posts down to 48. So that was amazing. Uh, I, I, I was actually amazed. And then because we're getting fewer clicks, of course we pay a higher cost per click, but the client was fine with that. And then once we started getting more of that targeted traffic, we could then start seeing some of it was starting to go through the website and look at other things. So that was a win for us. And again, all of this is dependent on what your goals are. If you're a big e-commerce, play and you want all this traffic, That's fine. But again, I'm working with these smaller industrial manufacturers. They know they have very niche audiences. They know who they are. And, they want to make sure that they're getting the right traffic to their website. So that was very, very interesting. Um, so, in terms of the URL builder, Matomo has a ton of information. I initially started with the third one listed, how to track Google ad campaigns with Matomo, because when I switched over from Universal back in 2022, my main concern was how am I going to track pay-per-click ads, because I was going to stop using GA. I was not going to use GA4 because it was brutal. I mean, I've been using analytics since it was Urchin, 2004. I was no neophyte, but trying to make GA4 work was mind-boggling. So I realized I still had to use GA4 because it talks with Google Ads. So I needed to have the conversions set up. So I do that. I set up the conversions, but then now I just use the the Matomo URL builder, and I'm able to track all my campaigns in Matomo. So I really like that. But there's a help file that explains how to do it. And then also and then they have their how to use this is the external link to the builder, but again, it's inside Matomo as well. And then what is campaign tracking and why it's important? That's another excellent read. I'm always reading stuff on the Matomo website. They do a really great job with explaining how to use the platform. And then in 2023, I gave a MatomoCamp presentation, small data, big results, because I was able to working with my son, who's a developer. He used the Matomo API and was able to extract the data, the conversion data from Matomo, and make it so it shows up in a really nice Excel spreadsheet. So we gave a presentation on that, and he explains how he does that. So it's much more technical. Um, it's, but it's on my website if you want to go visit, look at it. Now, Matomo did not pay me to say this, but I have to say it because I love this platform. I love it so much. So I'm a marketing communication. I'm a marketing industrial marketing consultant. Basically, my whole background is marketing communications, copywriting, and that's what I do, copywriting. I do a lot of content, but I had to teach myself all this technical stuff. I taught myself SEO back in 2003. I've taught myself Google Ads, taught myself data analytics. I became Google Analytics certified. I mean, I've had to teach myself everything. And Matomo is so easy to use. It's such a relief. Like, it doesn't make my eyes glaze over. And even my clients love it. So I create dashboards for them, and they're able to go look at their own data. I'm transparent about everything. So they can, see, yep, what she's telling us is the truth. We see it right here. I even have clients who go and get their own data and put it into their presentations for when they have to give presentations to their teams about, how their marketing is doing. So I love it for that reason. But also, in addition to the wonderful URL builder, there are other tools like heat maps, which I love, and the session recording tool. So that if you've not used session recording, once you do, you'll never go back. So anytime, we consistently will look at a page on a website and just view the session recordings to see how website visitors are using that particular page, maybe with a particular tool or something. And we have made so many website changes and tweaks and updates based on what we're seeing. And that's why, back on that screenshot where you could see the website conversion growth over time, that's how we do it. We're constantly looking at data and things like session recording, heat maps, what's working, what's not. We were able to solve one of my clients has a very small ecom play. We couldn't figure out why we were having issues with one product. Well, we went and looked and, okay, yeah, we see it now. So we were able to fix that. So that's why I love Matomo. And I highly recommend it for smaller companies because it is so easy to use. But most important, it's because I trust the data. So as as I proved with the whole LinkedIn thing, um, it's data I can trust. It's data I can use. It's data I can go back to with my customers and say, here's what I'm seeing. And they trust it too. But the best one of all. So you don't have to wait for your data. So as I was compiling this presentation, I just went over to X to see if anyone was still complaining about GA4. And I typed in GA4 sucks. And this is what popped up. This was from August. Jordan West posted it on X. Me waiting for GA4 to tell me if my meta campaign worked. You will never have to wait for your data. Everything is there you have real time logs, and then you have, 24 hours later, anything that's happened on your website is right there. So that's why I love Matomo. I know we don't have much time left, but any questions?
Okay, Dianna, thank you so much for being such an ambassador for Matomo. I'm currently looking at the chat, and there's no question yet. But what I would like to know, more from a curiosity perspective, and as well because I'm, let's say, sending feedbacks from the Matomo Partner Network to the Matomo team. Just would like to know, according to you, what are the missing features in this feature of Matomo about the tracking parameter, and what
Oh,
would you
there are
like to
pictures
improve?
missing. Oh, I can resend the presentation to you. Uh, I'll have to Oh, I'll have to have someone else look at it. I had two other people look at it and there were no missing pictures.
Hmm.
All right, let me figure it out and I can
No,
resend
no, I
the.
mean in the feature itself. I mean, if you had something to improve
Oh,
within the Matomo feature about the campaign tracking parameter, what would it be? Do you have all the features that you need in order to make a good job with Matomo parameters?
say that again.
I would like to know if you had any um, enhancements that you will suggest to our campaign tracking feature in Matomo.
Oh, no, no, I don't.
Okay. So you will say that currently it's fitting all your expectations?
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love it. That's why I'm sort of sitting over here going, this is so basic, but I can't tell you how much it's done for my business.
Okay. Because I remember that we do have on the marketplace, or at least we used to have it in the past, the URL shortcode generator, which allows, for example, to make shorter URLs so that we can easily use them into, I mean, different, for example, social posts, and then measure clicks to external communication, like not going to your website.
Oh, I
Um,
see. Yeah, no. So that might be for other companies, but mine just want the end all and be all for them is are people coming to our website?
okay. Okay.
Can I stop
Um,
sharing?
yes, please. You can. There's another question from Sandrine. Sandrine is asking us, hello, Diana, great presentation. Say, could you say how you usually share data with your clients? Do you export native Matomo reporting or do you use third-party tools or your own tools?
Yes. So what I did, as I mentioned, my son, who's a developer, he actually used the Matomo API and was able to, he had his own little tool that he developed. So we extract the conversion data and then it creates an Excel spreadsheet. It's actually branded with my company name and everything. And I send that report every week to my clients showing where their leads came from. So form, so if someone does an RFQ form, we're using Gravity forms on the website. And so I see all that data, right? The name, company name, all of that stuff. I see all that and I tie it back to that particular RFQ conversion, right? That I extracted out of Matomo. And Matomo is amazing. It tells you what time that someone filled out that form. So I just match everything by time um, and then fill out send the client this Excel spreadsheet every week. And also we use, then when I get on screen calls, like if I at once a month, how are things going? I do a screen share and we just look at Matomo together.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answer, Diana. I have another one which is coming through my mind, which has been reported to me by an end user in Google Analytics. As far as I remember, they have up to 8 different parameters. And I was wondering if Matomo should really extend up to this range of number of parameters, or do you think that the number of parameters that Matomo currently offers is already way too high and we don't need extra parameters?
Um, well, for my needs, it's perfect. That's why I said, the form that you currently have has other parameters like keyword, and there are a couple of others. I haven't had the opportunity to use them because at the moment, I don't need them. But again, bigger companies may want more data.
I see. Okay. And do you see any interest in recording any time you are using this form? Because sometimes some companies would like to keep a track of all the campaign that they created, even though some of them did not generate any clicks at all. Do you see any added value or of keeping an historical
Yeah. Yep.
record of?
Yeah, that's what I do. So, actually, when I create a URL for a page post on LinkedIn, um, so I write all these myself, all these page posts, and then say I run that post in January, and then now I then make a list in a Google Doc, a Google Sheet. So here are all the things I ran in January, and then let's say I want to rerun that post. I then wait 3 or 4 months and say I run it back. I run it again in May. I use the same URL, and then let's say I run it again in September. I use the same post and the same URL so that way in Matomo, I see all the traffic that went to that post on one line. So that way I have a very tidy organization under campaigns, LinkedIn page posts. Here are 15 of them, and here are the ones that got the most traffic. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I do. I track everything and I keep track of it all in Google spreadsheets. And that way my clients can see them too.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Diana. I
Oh, well,
cannot see
thank you.
any additional questions in the chat. So, anything in particular that you would like to say to the audience in order to close this conference?
Oh, I already said it. I love this program. I tell everybody about it. It's just, I'm so glad that you have it, that you made it. So thank you. I feel like I should be thanking you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana. I already posted on LinkedIn. So,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
have a great day, Diana. And also, thank you so much for your contribution at MatomoCamp 2025.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.